Well, it's Mother's Day, so we have a serious break. Of course, we have to talk about the mothers. Yes, mothers are special, right? Could you say that to the person sitting next to you? Mothers. Or if you're a mother, just tell the person sitting next to you, I'm special. Yes, mothers are special. So we're going to talk about mothers. Well, before we go into the word, let me just read to you some fun facts about Mother's Day. Or the first Mother's Day was celebrated in 1908. Anna Jarvis honored her mother, Ann Jarvis, with a memorial. Ann Jarvis had started a committee in 1868 to establish Mother's Friendship Day. Her motivation had been to reunite families after the Civil War. But her mother, Ann Jarvis, died in 1905 before Mother's Day became a holiday. Another fun fact, Mother's Day became a recognized holiday in 1914 in the United States. Okay, I can get these papers correct. Here's another one. Do you know that approximately 122 million phone calls are made to moms on Mother's Day? It's a lot of phone calls. Not that many on Father's Day, I tell you. And of all the flowers bought for holidays, this is all the holidays combined, okay? 1/4 are purchased for Mother's Day. Mothers must be special. Yeah? Some of you are saying, I didn't get that. Yeah. And here's another thing. The amount of money spent on Mother's Day in the U.S. is approximately $14 billion. Again, some of the mothers here are asking, I didn't get any of that. Okay. And, of course, like you said, a lot of flowers purchased on Mother's Day. And research has proven that there are actually health benefits to receiving flowers. Isn't that nice? Now listen to this. You see, Mother's Day is celebrated in close to 50 countries in different parts of the world. In the former Yugoslavia, children would tie up their mother on Mother's Day. In order to be freed, she had to pay them with treats. Now, let's not start that here in the U.S., okay? Or we won't have mothers on Sunday here on Mother's Day. They'd all be tied up at home. We don't want to do that. Anyway, mothers. We love our mothers. As I mentioned in my communion meditation today, for this past month, since I was in the Philippines last month, I have just been thinking a lot about my mom. And then, of course, Mother's Day came, and that's even more. And so I had been asking, I said, what would be the message that I would bring for Mother's Day? And as I was praying and reading and studying, I was led to Exodus chapter 1. Okay? No, actually, Exodus chapter 2, verses 1 to 10. If you have your Bibles with you, open your Bibles to Exodus chapter 2, verses 1 to 10. Now, a man of the tribe of Levi married a Levite woman, and she became pregnant and gave birth to a son. When she saw that he was a fine child, she hid him for 3 months. But when she could hide him no longer, she got a papyrus basket for him and coated it with tar and pitch. Then she placed the child in it and put it among the reeds along the bank of the Nile. His sisters stood at a distance to see what would happen to him. Then Pharaoh's daughter went down to the Nile to bathe, and her attendants were walking along the river bank. She saw the basket among the reeds and sent her female slave to get it. She opened it and saw the baby. He was crying, and she felt sorry for him. "This is one of the Hebrew babies," she said. Then his sister asked Pharaoh's daughter, "Shall I go and get one of the Hebrew women to nurse the baby for you?" "Yes, go," she answered. So the girl went and got the baby's mother. Pharaoh's daughter said to her, "Take this baby and nurse him for me, and I will pay you." So the woman took the baby and nursed him. When the child grew older, she took him to Pharaoh's daughter, and he became her son. She named him Moses, saying, "I drew him out of the water." We've all heard this story many times. The reason why Moses' mother did what she did was because her baby was in danger. Because in chapter 1, if you read chapter 1, the last part of that says that Pharaoh gave an order that every baby born who is a boy will have to be thrown into the Nile and be killed. Only the babies that are girls will be allowed to live. Well, this woman, her name was not mentioned here yet. Unknown woman at this part. The first time the name of Moses' mother was mentioned was in chapter 6 of Exodus. And there's really nothing much said about Moses' mother. By the way, does anyone here know the name of Moses' mother? Jochebed. Or if you're Hebrew, you say Yochebed. Yochebed. Jochebed. Not many people know that. Not many people know that. She was, like I said, not a popular woman, although she was known just as a woman who was Moses' mother. But of course, most mothers are not really known, right? Most mothers are not known. Of course, we celebrate names of mothers that are popular. But most women that we know, mothers that we know, are not known. Like, you don't know what my mother's name is, right? And I don't know any of you mother's name. I know Benita's mother's name, Wanda. And Leslie's mother's name, Alice. No, not Alice, Sally. Sally's not here. Anyway, so, yeah, most women, they're not really known. But just because they're not known by everyone doesn't mean that they are not important or that they are not special. So what I would like for us to see is what Jochebed, the mother of Moses, did as a mother to protect her son. Protect her son, Moses. Well, that's one of the things. That's actually the title of this message is A Mother's Love. A Mother's Love. And then all the points lead to what a mother's love does, or what it shows when the love of a mother is upon a child. Just like what I said earlier, in chapter 1, there was an order for all male babies to be killed. And so Jochebed, the mother of Moses, first thing she did was to protect her child. That's why we have the term, the mama bear, right? When we were golfing last week, I believe that was, I was with Goose, and there was a mother goose there. We were driving by it, there's going, and I was like ready to attack. And then of course you see the baby geese there walking around. I said, well, she's ready to fight. She was basically protecting the babies. And you know, that is the instinct of a mother, is to protect, to not allow anyone to harm babies. To harm the babies. That's the mama bear instinct, we call it. Mothers are protective of their children. That is why also, when a mother is not protective of a child, of her own child, that is abnormal. What is expected is that a mother will protect the child, right? And so when a mother is not protecting, we call that unusual, or we say that is not right. Because it's like almost natural that God has placed in every mother's heart to protect a child. And that is why that is the kind of protection, even and love, that God tried to compare to the Israelites regarding His love for them. And so the verse that I read earlier in Isaiah chapter 49, where God said, "Can a mother forget her nursing child?" Of course, the answer to that should be, of course not. But God said, but even if she does, God says, I will not. I will not. Because again, the natural tendency of a mother towards the child is to protect. Is to protect the child. A mother's love protects. A mother's love protects. And a mother will do everything she could to make sure that the children are protected. But you know, part of protecting a child, though, that we see mothers do is taking risks. Because when you make a decision to protect someone, you're actually making a decision to put yourself at risk. I remember being sick many times as a child. Contagious sometimes even, like a flu. My mom would tell all the other children, even my dad, stay away from the sick one. But you know who gets close to the sick one? The mom. For some reason, she doesn't get sick. Well, she does too also. But it's amazing that she would tell everyone to get away, but she's willing to dive in and do everything that she could, even if she gets the flu. Mothers, they protect and they risk for the sake of the child. That is what the mother of Moses did. She knew that she could be in danger for keeping Moses alive. But because she wanted to protect Moses, she risked her life for him. She risked her life for Moses. Later on, we see that she even took the time, even though there was so much risk. Jochebed put Moses into the basket, knowing that Pharaoh's daughter would be at the river bathing and praying that when she sees Moses, she will fall in love with Moses and she will take Moses in. And I'm sure she already knew or already had an idea as to what would happen. But I'm sure also that all these things happened not only because she thought of a great idea to protect Moses, but also because the hands of God was upon Moses. God worked it out because God had plans for Moses. And so God protected Moses even more. But the role of the mother in protecting and risking was there. And you know what? Part of what this mother did was to sacrifice something that rightfully belonged to her. Moses rightfully belonged to her because she was the mother. But to protect Moses, she was willing to give up her right to be a mother of Moses. We call that sacrifice. Sacrifice. I was watching a video about mothers. There's a lot of them actually on YouTube. And it's funny because one of the things that the child said, "What can you say about your mom?" Said, "My mom wears the same clothes all the time." Well, what I remember about my mom was she never bought new clothes. Well, we didn't have much money. That's why, but she always made sure that we have new clothes on our birthday and on Christmas. And never bought anything new for her. Isn't that crazy? But if you're a mother, you will understand that, right? And we call that again sacrifice. Sacrifice. While all the children are wanting time for themselves, mother never had a time for herself. Right? Again, making the sacrifice. And if at times the mother cannot give what the child was asking for, the crazy thing is that children sometimes even rebel against the mother for not being able to give that one thing, not realizing that the mother had already made so much sacrifices. She gave up her right to be the mother of Moses, but she took the time to be of help still. That's why they planned a scheme so that if Pharaoh's daughter finds Moses, they already had a plan. Moses' sister went to Pharaoh's daughter and said, "Would you like for me to find a Hebrew woman to nurse her?" And of course, Pharaoh's daughter said, "Yeah, go ahead." And so, of course, we know who she found. She found her mother, his mother, and so his mother nursed him, and I'm sure took the time to teach Moses. That is the reason why later on in life Moses realized that he was a Hebrew and he had a responsibility to the Hebrew nation. Who do you think taught him that? His mother did. His mother did. Because our mothers are our first teachers. Isn't that true? Our mothers are our first teachers. Because that's what a mother's love does. It teaches. It protects. It risks. It sacrifices. And it teaches. That's why we celebrate mothers and we celebrate motherhood. It is a God-given honor that God has given to the women to be a mother. Of course, not everyone becomes a mother, but that doesn't mean that mothers are not special. They are. But even if you are not a mother, you are special, as we all are special. It's just that it's good for us to take a day in a year to just celebrate our mothers. So today, we celebrate the mothers. So I'm going to ask all the mothers to please stand up. If you could all stand up. Mothers, please. Not you, Charlie. You look like you can be a mother.
Oh my God.
Close to him. Yeah.
Tito, I think all the fathers that stepped up to be in the mother's place.
be like a
they
mother.
definitely deserve it too.
That is true. And we will celebrate the fathers next month.
But I'm saying, fathers stand up
Oh.
when mothers aren't there.
That's true.
Disappear. There's
Who
fathers who
played
raised
the
their
father,
kids.
mother.
Exactly.
That is true. That is true. So to all of you mothers, allow us to applaud you today. So why don't we do that? Mothers, we thank God for all of you mothers. Thank you so much. You may be seated. You may